Polenta, pizza. Pizza, polenta. How about polenta pizza? Any way you cut it, it's delicious. Today I'm going to show you how I make a polenta style pizza. But first, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified when I create a new video. Like and share this video, it really helps out the channel. Now let's get into the recipe. So for the polenta, it's really easy. I'm using, instead of water, I'm going to be using a chicken broth, which I've made with the better than bouillon. I'm using 2 teaspoons and 4 cups of liquid. I'm just going to pour the chicken broth into the saucepan and turn the heat up to medium until it boils. So we're just going to put the top on like that, wait for it to boil, and then we're going to add our cornmeal. I'm going to throw a little bit of green onion in there for flavoring and a couple of cloves of garlic minced in here. And you can add any of the seasoning that you like. And then I'm going to turn it down to low to medium. And I'm going to use a really fine ground cornmeal. As you can see here, it's like powder. You want to pour it in a little bit at a time. So you want to make sure you work out all the lumps in here. Give it a spin, keep it moving. Keep it moving until you see it start thickening. Okay, as you can see, it's coming together. And you want to judge for yourself on the consistency, how thick you want it or how loose you want it. So because this is a pretty fine cornmeal, it's going to cook quickly. It's going to absorb that water pretty quickly, any of the liquid you put in there. Keep working it here. Similar to making grits. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever had grits, but the grits do take about a half hour to cook because they are thicker. It's a thicker cut. This is more like almost like a flour, a thin grind. Now this polenta will thicken as it cools. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to add some Parmesan, Parmigiano or Parmesan American cheese, American style or non-Parmigiano Reggiano. So I've got some Parmesan cheese in here. Got to work that in until it starts melting. It'll get creamier for you as it melts. Okay, so you can see it's starting to melt in there. Next, I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese. Okay, some shredded mozzarella. Get that in there. Okay, maybe about 4 ounces or so. And move that around. Make sure it all gets incorporated and starts melting in there. And the more cheese you add, the creamier this is going to get. Okay. And you can see it now, it's nice and stringy. This is going to hold together really nice as we bake it for our polenta, baked polenta. Going to try to get a nice crust on it through the air fryer. So now I'm going to get a couple of spoonfuls on this tray here that I've lined with some aluminum foil, because we're going to bake it into a nice thin sheet. Try to get a nice crust on it. So let's get that all flattened out. Okay, so now we're going to get it into the Kalorik Air Fryer, Kalorik Air Fryer oven. It's the smaller oven. Hit the start, air fry. And what we're looking for is the top to be nice and crispy. So once we get a nice crust on the top, we're ready to go for the next step. All right, so I just added some mozzarella cheese to it. And we're going to put it back in for another couple of minutes or a minute until the mozzarella melts. Also going to slice a tomato. We're just going to add a couple of tomato slices to the top to finish it off. like that. Get that back in there for another minute or so. So now that we have the polenta pizza, I let it cool. You want to make sure that either you put it on the counter and let it cool for, 15, 20 minutes or so it stiffens up. What I did is I put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes so it stiffens up, gets nice and cool, so you can actually hold it. So it becomes like a block. It kind of tightens up for you. So I'm going to add a little bit of this basil and some green onions to the top, which I've already got some here. And I'm going to cut them into squares. That's why I put the tomatoes that way. So just nice and easy, cut into squares. So now if you notice, as it cooked in the air fryer, it pulled together a little bit. So it's going to pull away from the sides a little bit. And also it might bubble up on you a little bit. So keep an eye on it, especially as it's starting to brown. Okay. So you can add the feta to the top, or maybe some Parmesan cheese, and give it a bite. It makes a nice snack. You can make it for dinner, make it for the kids. Doesn't take that long, as you saw, maybe about 15 minutes total. So we can just pull that up. We have a little pizza. Oh, you get that cheese flavor. Awesome. The tomato gives it a nice freshness with the basil on it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me some thumbs up, some shares, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.